Why, happy Tuesday. Hopefully everyone's having a glorious Tuesday. It's actually not too bad here in the state of Texas, here in Austin, Texas. It's kind of chilly right now. You walk out, you probably want to put a sweater on or a light jacket, especially if you're going out at night. But we're gonna be happy talking what's happened in California. Three mass shootings. Apparently, they have all the gun laws on the books to prevent this, but yet it still happened. It's almost like the laws don't work. And I've been getting into a couple debates here and there on Twitter about this. And the issue is, I don't have the answers. Neither do them. I don't think banning all guns is the answer as well. But something has to change, whether it's changing our culture, because our culture is broken. Our culture that allows this to happen it's going to keep on going until something breaks and we either lose our Second Amendment or gun laws are going to have to change to allow more people to carry, since law enforcement's not able to keep up with the demands of people killing people. With that being said, we're going to start off with, I guess, the newest one. I think this happened. Yeah, this was posted on January 24th. I think this happened last night, I want to say. But one dead, seven injured after a shooting while filming a music video in Oakland, police said. Oakland officials gave an update on the shooting that left one person dead, several others injured Monday night. Police says five people were struck by gunfire, according to an acting police chief, Darren Allison. One person died. He was identified as 18-year-old Mario Navarro. I have no clue who he is. Hopefully his family can get peace with this tragic event. Hopefully justice will be served. The age victims injured range from 15 to 63 years old. Once again, hopefully though the victims that survive also can get some peace and some justice here. Don't really care about the video of the gun scene. I don't think we need to see more of that. One person remains at the hospital. The shooting happened just before 6 p.m. on Monday at Valley Road gas station in the 59th block of MacArthur Boulevard. Police says there were 40 to 50 people at the gas station filming the music video. When officers arrived, there were no victims at the scene, but officers found several shell casings. Police said the bullets went into the cars, into the local businesses. Police says the victims took themselves to several hospitals. So EMS did not take them. I guess they took a ride in their own vehicles to get there, which was interesting. Interesting tidbit. And of course, there's been more mass shootings in the U.S. than days in 2023. Data by shows. I'm not laughing because I find it hilarious. It's actually not really hilarious, but there's some dark humor that I find humorous. The victims were listed in stable conditions. This is ongoing investigations. Anyone familiar is asked to contact the Oakland Police Department Homicide Section at 510-238-3821, 510-238-3821, or call the tip line at 510 238 7950. That is 510 238 7950. Yes, I am repeating the phone numbers twice in case you do know more about this and you can help law enforcement to help these victims and the family of the Mario Navarro to receive some level of justice and peace. And of course, this is from Los Angeles Times. I think this was the first one that hit my radar on Twitter. The next two stories are kind of bizarre, mainly because they don't fit the mold of a mass shooter due to their age and due to their ethnic backgrounds. Authorities identify a 72-year-old man as suspect's gunman in Lunar, New York mass shooting. Authorities identified the man responsible for the deadly shooting inside the Monterey Park dance studio as Helmut resident. Don't really care to say his name. The monster died from a self-inflicted gunshot because he's a coward. Wound in a strip mall parking lot near Sepulveda and Hawthorne Boulevard in Torrance. Law enforcement sources says still not clear on the motives. Los Angeles County Sheriff Robert Luna said. Two law enforcement sources said the suspects recently showed up in the Helmut police station, saying that his family was trying to poison him. The investigation continues that we want to know how something this awful can happen. The manhunt for the shooter began after he opened fire inside the Star Ballroom Dance Studio of West Garvey Avenue around 10:20 p.m. Saturday, killing 10 people and wounding 10 others. It was the Lunar New Year's Eve. Also, he actually shot a total of 20 people. 11th person has passed away. I don't know if this story's been updated to reflect that. Also, I don't know how much justice these victims can get, seeing how the person, like a coward, offed himself. Maybe they could get some closure knowing that the person is no longer a threat to them anymore and their family. After 20 minutes after the shooting in Monterey, the monster walked into La La Ballroom and studio near Alhambra. Official says the suspect walked in there probably with the intent to kill 2 more people. Only 2 more people? But 2 community members disarmed him, took possession of his weapon, and the suspect ran away. I wish they said the person's name that stopped him, because he's pretty much saved a lot of people's lives that day. And I wish they gave him props. At 10:20 Sunday, the police found a white cargo van was seen leaving the scene. The shooting, Luna said, when the officers left their patrol vehicles and made contact with the occupant, they heard 1 gunshot coming from the van. At 1 p.m., the SWAT team determined that the suspect had a self-inflicted gunshot wound and was pronounced dead at the scene. The man inside the van was the coward, the mass shooting suspect, authorities said. During the search of the van, several pieces of evidence were found linking the suspect to both locations. A handgun found inside the van, which had stolen license plates, authority says. I can confirm that there's no outstanding suspects. The weapon was taken by the community member in Alabama. I'm slaughtering that name, I'm sorry. Was a magazine-fed semi-automatic pistol. There's no assault pistols. There's no assault rifles. It was a magazine-fed semi-automatic pistol. I seen that was floating around Twitter because the sheriff said it was a magazine-fed semi-automatic pistol, which is just not a thing. With the extended magazine attached, according to authorities, this particular firearm with the extended magazine is illegal to possess in California, but yet somehow it is in California. The advisory from Los Angeles County Sheriff Department identified the suspect, adult Asian man, about 5 feet 10 inches, weighing about 150 pounds. The image showed the man in a black leather jacket, beanie, and glasses. The coward had been living at the Lakes Helmut West, a mobile home whose signs build a 55-plus active living community, according to the public records. Law enforcement sources. A security guard turned away. Times reported at the front gate Sunday night. I still have questions in my mind, which is, what was the motive of the shooter? Did he have mental illness? Maybe. Was he a domestic violent abuser? Maybe. How did he get the guns? And was it through legal means? Well, those questions will have to be answered in the future. U.S. Rep. Judy True, Democrat, of course, said during the Sunday night conference. The Monterey Park Police Chief Scott Wise said that the first law enforcement responders on the scene, somewhere with my youngest officers, several of whom have been on the street only for a few months. I don't know how that's relevant. When they came to the parking lot, it was chaos. There were wounded people. There were people trying to flee out of all doors. Well, I said they entered the building within a few minutes arriving. Well, I said they came across the scene of carnage. None of them had been prepared. I think you get the point. The suspect was a 72-year-old Asian man. And of course, this other one, which is also tragic. This is from the New York Times. A suspect's in custody after 7 people were killed in Half Moon Bay. The police arrested 66-year-old suspect. 66-year-old suspects. Normally, I think if I understand the range, it's anywhere between 16 to all the way up to, I want to say maybe 35 up to 40, which conducts these mass murders. Those are usually the range. Though it's very rare to see people over the age of 50. And we got 2 people, 66-year-old Asian and a 76-year-old Asian. Is it 70? No, 72. Sorry, 72-year-old and a 66-year-old Asian man in California committing these terrible attacks. He's fully cooperating. I sure hope he's cooperating. Half Moon Bay, the gunman killed 7 people at 2 locations, Half Moon Bay, California, on Monday, shaking the state that is still mourning over another mass shooting less than 48 hours before. The police arrested the monster 66 of Half Moon Bay in a connection with the shooting after he was found inside his car in the parking lot of San Mateo County Sheriff Office substation in the town. Officials said that they added that there was no continuing threat to the community. The suspect was taken into custody without incident because he surrendered and was fully cooperating, Sheriff Christina Corpus said. When the officer first spotted the car in the substation, the suspect was unwilling to get out. She said at the news conference, and there is some difficulty in communication with him because he spoke Mandarin Chinese, but officers eventually lured him out of the vehicles and arrested him. Authorities have not established a motive for the shooting, but according to Captain Iman Allen at the Sheriff's Department, the local law enforcement was working with the FBI and had not uncovered a criminal history for the suspect or any records of past incidents at either crime scene. He said that the sheriff said that the suspect was employed at the first shooting location, Mushroom Farm, and signs that so far pointed out the workplace-related shooting. So he shot up a bunch of Chinese farmers, for context. The dead include six men and 1 woman. The sheriff said, adding that another man was wounded by gunfire but was hospitalized in critical condition. The United Farm Worker Union said in a statement that 7 people were killed, were farm workers. Some of the victims were Hispanics and others were Asians descent, the sheriff said. She added that the coroners are still working to identify them and notify their family on Tuesday, a task completed by the fact that some were, or complicated to the fact that some were migrants. Governor Newsom, California, wrote on Twitter that the news of the Half Moon Bay shooting broke, that he was at the hospital in Los Angeles meeting the victims of the mass shooting of Saturday night Ballroom Monterey, and that attack, the gunman fatally shot 11 people and wounded 9 others. It's very tragic, don't get me wrong. It's a tragedy upon tragedy, the governor wrote. The shooting in Half Moon Bay in rural season town between San Francisco and Santa Cruz took place around 2 p.m. The town's beaches are a popular surfing destination, and the inland mountains are home to one of the state's oldest agricultural communities. which employs many migrant workers. One of the two shooting locations was a plant nursery, the sheriff said, where have I bought in Half Moon Bay plants? Sorry, I'm getting off topic. I'm just kind of curious. There were farm workers affected tonight, Supervisor Ray Mueller of San Mateo County said in a news conference. There were children on the scene at the incidents. This is truly heartbreaking tragedy in our community. He alluded to the storms that have pounded the area over the past months. The amount of stress has been on this community for weeks is really high, he said. Stress or no stress, I've been in a combat zone, so I understand stress. I can speak about stress. I could talk about going out on patrol every 8 hours because we had 3 platoons that make up a company and we're doing 4-hour shifts. So every 8 hours, I was on patrol for 4 hours. I understand stress. But this is not how you take out stress if that's what they're alluding to. That this man just snapped because he was under a lot of pressure. I think that's a cop out and I don't agree with it. But either way, it's very tragic and I'm glad that he is arrested. I'm glad he's going to answer for his crimes. I'm happy that he didn't take the coward's way out by putting a gun to his head and blowing his brains out like the other agent did. At least he has enough balls to stand trial. And hopefully these 7 people that were killed their family members can get some justice. Because this is really all about justice. This isn't about promoting the Second Amendment over gun grabbing or gun laws. But I do know that something's going to have to change. Now, I don't know what the change is going to be. I do think there needs to be accountability within the communities. I think there's got to be a community-led effort to address some of these issues that people are seeing and to get and find help for people that want to do us harm, whether it's showing kindness or whether it's getting people involved in the community to make these communities a harder target, whether it is to, I don't know, maybe have laws change in California to where it's more gun friendly. I don't know the answers, but I do know 3 mass shootings in one state within a 72-hour period is unacceptable. And I don't know what to answer with. I don't know what the answer is. But I do know this is not the time to bring up suggestions. This is not the time for either side of the aisle to make a stand. This is here to focus on the tragic events that happened in California and to hope that justice is served in those 3 cases. With that being said, that is my video. And most importantly, if you live with people, hug them. Tell your parents that you love them. Tell your kids you love them. Most importantly.